Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about Spotty Wi-Fi. And it doesn't matter if you're in your home or office, Wi-Fi is a big issue that many people don't know how to solve. Many people think that with wireless that it's going to go everywhere, but there are 5 things that are causing your Wi-Fi not to go where it's supposed to go, and luckily enough I've got tips that will help you ensure that you can cover those Wi-Fi dead areas. So let's start with tip number 1, or fact number 1 about Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is bad in your home probably because you have it positioned in the wrong area. Most internet and cable providers will install wireless routers wherever they can. It doesn't matter if it's down in the basement or up in the attic somewhere. Those places are not ideal for your wireless to be installed. When you get a wireless router or an access point from your internet provider, it needs to be centrally installed, ideally on the main floor or the central floor of your home. So for example, if you've got a basement and an upstairs or even an attic, you want the router installed on the main floor if all possible. It depends on what your cable provider is able to do. Now, for example, when Google Fiber rolled out in some areas, Google was able to, or is only able to, install that fiber jack to an outside wall. They used to be able to do basements, but they don't anymore. So with Google, their main objective is just to get the internet installed and get the signal into your house. They're not concerned about your wireless coverage throughout the house. And not to pick on Google, that's the same with any internet provider. So if you're having wireless issues, don't call your internet provider. They really don't care what goes on in your home or office. All they care about is if you're able to get a signal to that location. That's it. As far as wireless is concerned, it's all up to you to make sure you have robust wireless. And in most instances, you will have to utilize the service of an IT professional to come out and make sure that you have robust Wi-Fi in your home or office. Now back to location of Wi-Fi. So if you have a central location that you can install it, like in the middle of your home or office, that's where you can do it ideally. But again, most cable providers will not do that. So if you can convince them to get it centrally located when you're switching or getting internet service, that's what you want. You don't want them to install it in the basement. You don't want it to install it in the far port of the attic somewhere, because that wireless router will not get the signal that you need. Number two is you're getting spotty Wi-Fi in your home because you've got an old router. Now, the average shelf life with routers is about 5 years. And I know I always get into arguments with people online about this, but my recommendation as far as wireless routers are concerned are to get them from your internet provider. Why? Well, if you are a tech expert like myself, it's kind of a good idea to get your own because you know how to configure it. But if you don't know anything about technology, you don't want to jack around with any of that stuff. So get your router from your internet provider. Sometimes when there's updates to the system, your provider will send out a new router for you. But the other thing that you should know about wireless routers is that they have a working life of about 5 to 6 years. If you've got a router currently at home that's older than 5 years, it's probably time to replace it. Now, if you purchased your own router, then that means you need to go out and purchase another router. And routers can be pretty expensive. If you want a robust wireless router, you're looking to spend anywhere from $100 to $200, if not more, on a wireless router. Now, if you are leasing it from your internet provider, it's just a simple matter of walking in and taking that router into the store and swapping it out for another one. You're leasing the equipment. It's the internet provider's equipment. So it's very important that you understand that if you are having problems with your router, and if if it's over the 5-year mark, you need to go ahead and take that router into your provider, swap it out for a new box, plug it in, and then go and go and get back to working Wi-Fi. Another thing that was stuck in my head as far as a thought is that sometimes when you swap out those routers at your internet provider, they are refurbished routers, which means that someone has dropped off an old router, they've done some stuff to kind of refreshen it, and then they give it out to the next person. Now, it would help you if you were to go into your provider when switching out your modem or router and ask for brand new equipment. If you request it, in most instances, they will give you a new router. Now, if you get a refurbished router and it may go out like maybe in 2 or 3 years, don't worry. It doesn't mean that you've done something stupid. It just means that you got a refurbished router and that you need to go and request a new one so that you can get the full 5 to 6 years out of your router. So again, leasing from your internet provider is probably the best method when it comes to equipment. It also helps the troubleshooting process as well. If you have problems with just your internet in your home, it's easier for your provider to troubleshoot it if it's their equipment as opposed if you're using a third-party router. So keep that in mind. So the next thing that could be blocking or causing your internet or your Wi-Fi to be sporadic in your home is you probably have that router situated near a piece of furniture. You may think that having that router on the second level of your bookshelf or in a cubbyhole or even under a table wouldn't cause issues because those wireless signals are able to go through anything. Wrong. That's not the case. As far as positioning your router, it needs to be at least 3 feet high and rising, to quote a song, and if anyone gets that, leave it in the comment section below. But 3 feet or above is where you want your wireless router to be situated in order to give a nice, robust signal. The other thing that you have to remember with wireless routers as well, as far as positioning, wireless routers send out a pretty much an umbrella type signal where it just kind of goes out like that. And what happens is if you've got furniture or other things blocking that wireless signal, it's not going to go anywhere and it's going to redirect it to the area where it's not blocked. So for example, if I had my router on the top shelf of the bookshelves that I have behind me, which are probably about 3 feet high and rising, it would work. It would work on that top bookshelf. But if I had it positioned below with the Lord of the Rings books and the Harry Potter books that you see behind me, that could cause issues and it could block that wireless signal. So keep that in mind when you position your router. Make sure that there's no furniture or anything blocking it. Make sure that it's high, at least 3 feet high or more, and make sure that that signal is able to go everywhere. So number 4 is make your house is just too big. Just to do another William Shatner there. But yes, if your house is larger than 2,000 square feet, one router is not going to work. Even those large routers that you see with the antennas aren't going to cover a large scale home. It's not going to happen. If you've got 2,000 square feet or smaller, you won't have problems with any router that you purchase from the store or you release from your internet service provider. But if it's larger than 2,000 square feet, you are going to have problems. No way that router is going to reach those areas of your home, and you need to look into other ways of expanding that wireless network. We'll talk about that here after tip number 5, which is you live in an old home and the walls are that lath and plaster. Now, sometimes those walls will work, but if you've got brick somewhere in your house or in between those walls and you don't know it, it definitely will block that wireless signal. So you are going to have issues with Wi-Fi, and there's nothing that you can really do. Same thing with your office. And if you've got brick in your office, it's going to cause problems with Wi-Fi. So you've got to find other ways to make that happen. So how can we make that happen? Well, you could buy a super duper router, but like I said, those don't always solve the issue because of the whole square footage thing. The best possible way to take care of wireless is to run network cable from your router to those dead spots in your home or office, and then set up an access point like this M2 Wi-Fi router. And this is not a product endorsement, it's just kind of to give you an example. So if you run network cable and set up one of these access points in a central location, then that definitely would get you wireless to that area. But the problem is not everyone can run cable. It's a challenge. You can't run cable everywhere in your home or office because you've got walls, you don't want to pay the expense. So there's two different products that will help you achieve the process of taking care of those Wi-Fi dead spots. So product number one that I highly recommend, but I'm not endorsing, is this TP-Link power line adapter. And I always get the wording wrong because I don't know, it's just such odd technology. So opening the box here and grabbing out the TP-Link power line adapter, I almost said range extender. Power line adapter is pretty simple. So once you get it out of the box, you get two of these babies in the box. So the way TP-Link works is that pretend my hand is an outlet. What you would do is take the TP-Link, plug it into an outlet. Oh look, I got it to work. And so then you plug the other end of the TP-Link power line adapter into a wall in the room where your Wi-Fi is weak. So the first one is going to plug into an outlet next to your router. You run network cable from your router to the TP-Link power line adapter, and then you take the TP-Link into the room where your Wi-Fi is weak and plug it in, and then you can plug in a router such as this into, let's get that out here. There. So then you've got the TP-Link and you've got a Wi-Fi range extender, and then that's how you can get Wi-Fi in those areas or those strong areas of your house. Power line uses your home's power line, so you don't have to worry about running any network cable or hiring an electrician to run cable because obviously in your home or your office you don't want to have network cable strewn about. Although, true story, I did see a residence recently where someone had ran network cable and tried to do the TP-Link power line adapters in order to expand Wi-Fi. The only problem with that situation is the Wi-Fi was already robust in the home, so why did they do it? So the second product that you could use in order to expand your Wi-Fi would be Netgear's Powerline Wi-Fi adapter. Again, not endorsing, just recommending. But anyway, the TP-Link, or not TP-Link, they're going to get me at Netgear. The Netgear Powerline adapter will allow you to do the same thing as you would with the TP-Link. You plug one end near where your router is, and then you plug the other end where you want to increase your Wi-Fi. And you can kind of see the example on the box. So number one, you would plug, let me point to number one. So number one, you would plug this into a wall near your router. And then number two, you would plug it into the area where there's a weak Wi-Fi, in your home or office. Then the Netgear power line adapter will allow you to send out a robust signal in those weak areas of your home or office, allowing you to get Wi-Fi. And again, it's plug and play, and once you have two of these devices plugged in, they will pair with each other. They will send a signal through the power line of your home or your office, giving you Wi-Fi or robust Wi-Fi in those areas. Now keep in mind, when you use either the TP-Link power line adapter or even the Netgear power line adapter, these adapters and with your power line in your home or office are not going to give you robust Google speed internet. They're not, but they're going to give you internet speed that's going to be fast enough, both wired and wireless, that will allow you to stream movies. You can also just surf the internet in general. So it's your basic or a little bit above basic speeds, even though both of these, I think, say gigabit. So obviously that's a selling point. I think in the 1000 megabit, just to give you a little education there, is gigabit. So both of these are advertising that they'll give you gigabit speeds, but trust me, you're not going to get gigabit speeds out of a power line adapter, because unless you've got some super duper power line in your home, it just can't transmit that internet data that quickly through your electrical lines of your home. So hopefully, with me showing you this M2 router and the power line adapters, that you will have the ability to fix those Wi-Fi dead spots in your home or office, and to make sure that you have robust Wi-Fi everywhere, because obviously wireless is important when it comes to using your smart devices, your smartphones, your tablets. I had an adapter fall. But anyway, your tablets, your computers, all of your devices work better with Wi-Fi. Even if you have smart home, you almost need Wi-Fi in order to get that to work. So, with that said, I hope these tips help you get robust Wi-Fi in your home or office. So, with that said, if you have comments or questions about home Wi-Fi and how to make it better, leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you to help you out with that your wireless issues, and we'll love suggestions for more tech tip videos. Speaking of videos, I always have to throw the subscribe and like up there. Whoa, Nelly! Be sure to subscribe and like myself, Burton Kelso, the technology expert, on YouTube and all of the social media platforms out there, as well as my company Integral. Both sites, I can get that right. Yeah, both sites. That's better. Both sites and YouTube have tons of tech tip videos and tips that are designed to help you get more from the technology you use at home and your work. So, as always, I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun and easy to use for everyone. Take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.